So in Slab City, how do you distinguish when it's just a rumor that has been generated to hurt somebody, or when that that claim is actually viable or true?
But Slab City is no different than anywhere else. I mean, the first thing I would look at was, do the people know each other? Are they even affiliated? Like, if they hang out together, then maybe not take that as being gold. But if they're totally from different groups and they don't even talk, then that tells you that, yeah, odds are it's true. I mean, and it's still not there's no such thing as getting a fact unless you're there to see it yourself. But when people give you hands-on, they were there, they seen it. If they say they seen it, and if they're all from different groups, like they're not even from the same cliques. They don't talk, they don't hang out together, and so in each situation is very similar and pretty much to the T, just about what he does, and so he's got an MO pretty much established. Just like anywhere, like anybody investigating anything, they're going to look at all those things. They're going to take all them factors into account. That's the same thing here. You know what I mean? Look at who said it. What do they have motivation to try and harm that person?
Right.
You know what I mean? These are all things that you look at. If 2 or 3 people say something, there's got to be some truth to it. Whether or not it's all true or not, doesn't matter. There's some truth to it. And if there's a crime being committed, then something needs to be done about it. That would be how I would look at it and how I would evaluate it. See, in my world, I see this world where the police department's not needed. All right, you and I, all right, it's our job to hold each other accountable.
Right.
If I see you doing something wrong, then I need to say something. All right, it's the same. It should be that way all across the board, and then nobody would get away with nothing because somebody would always see something. Like you can't do something and nobody see it. You know what I mean? So somebody would always see something, and there would be a better justice system, but it would require all of us doing our part, and it would be, hey, I hold you accountable, you hold me accountable.
But you don't think that the legal system is necessary? Because
I think that it's flawed.
Because it's kind of whenever we rely, because there's like weaknesses to relying on just the population. Because of bias. What if you don't like somebody? You know what I mean?
Yeah, but not everybody's going to be that. Somebody will speak up.
So that's why there's
you can't pay everybody. You can't pay everybody to take your side. You can't. You know what I mean? Somewhere you'll get found out. So I mean, like,
you don't think that the legal system is good in that you're innocent until you're proven guilty? Like,
you're not innocent until you're proven guilty. You tell me the last time you went to jail and got treated like you were innocent.
Well, I've never been to jail.
All right, well, I've been to jail, and you're not treated like you're innocent. You're guilty until you prove you're innocent. That's how it works. There's no innocent until proven guilty. That's all just a myth.
Somebody's accusing you of something, the burden is on them to prove that you're guilty. In other words,
that's for somebody to get a crime. But see, if I call the cops and tell the cops that you beat me up, they're gonna come and arrest me. Period. It's who called who first. All right. If I call them first on you and I say you beat me up,
yeah, but
they're gonna come arrest you.
But if I call the cops and I'm all like, hey, freaking Barret beat me up, and I'm like, I don't have nothing on me, do you really think that they're gonna arrest you?
They will. They will. Don't think they won't. Don't question they won't. They will. They will. They will come arrest you, and you will have to prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that you did not do what they say you did. And if you can't prove it, odds are you're gonna go to jail. But the thing about it is the first thing they're going to do is they're going to give you the option to get out of jail if you just plead. That's where most of your guilty pleas come from. They're not guilty people. They're people that just take a plea because they want to get out of jail, because they know that they're going to sit in jail for at least a month, maybe longer, just proving their case.
So you don't believe in the justice system?
I don't think the justice system works, no.
Yeah.
I think that more people plead guilty to get out of jail, to just take a plea agreement, and I don't think most of them people are guilty. And the ones that are guilty, they use that to their advantage. If you take it to the box, you're probably going to get freed, because most people won't take it to the box. They won't sit there in jail and go through it all. You know what I mean? But you're going to sit in jail unless you got a lot of money to bond out. And if you got a lot of money to bond out, then you're definitely going to do good, because you'll get a lawyer. And I mean, look at O.J. Simpson. I mean, you can beat the court system. It's just a matter of how much money you got. All right. There's nothing fair about the court system. There's nothing that is righteous about the justice system. And yeah, I think it's crooked. I don't think it needs to be abolished. I think that it's each and every one of our jobs to hold each other accountable. And then if I see you doing something wrong, then yeah, you do need to be put in a jail. We do need to have jails. We do need to have like a system, but the system does not need to be police officers and people that are appointed to do these jobs, because it goes to their head. And you ask a cop right now when you go talk to him and say, hey, are you here to protect and serve? And he'll tell you, I ain't here to protect you or serve you. He does neither. He does neither. He doesn't do anything. He doesn't work for you. He works for the state's attorney. His job is to get convictions. His job is to get people guilty pleas. If you take a guilty plea because you just want to get out of jail, it doesn't matter. They still get the conviction. It's still a guilty plea. The system's crooked. It's flawed. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. Anybody that says it does has never been in it and had to deal with it. Yes, it does sometimes occasionally work, but because it occasionally works, that you can't give it credit for working because it occasionally works. It has to work every time, and it doesn't work. Most times it doesn't. I'm going to say most times. I'd say on a ratio, I would say 8 out of 10 people that are convicted of crimes are convicted of the crime because they just didn't want to sit in jail. They didn't want to be there. They wanted to go home. Who doesn't want to go home? Who wants to be sitting in a jail? Nobody. But that's the only way you're going to get out today without having money, is to take the plea bargain. Plea bargains they're not fair. They're not right. They should be definitely looked into. And that's my opinion on the system. No, it does not work. It does not work. When you got people that are going to jail for things they didn't do, and they're afraid, and they got to deal with that. You know how it feels to be not guilty of something, but you're in jail for it? You shouldn't be in jail unless they can prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that you are guilty. There should be no chance of you going to jail until they know you're guilty of it. That would be correct. Not, you got to prove you're not guilty. And if you go to jail, you're not going to be in any way thought innocent. They don't think of you as innocent. They think of you as guilty. That's from the get-go. Why did you do it? That's their question. Why did you do it? How did you do it? They don't ask you if you did it. They never ask you if you did it. That's just not something they ask you. And then like some of these younger kids that get interrogated, they get interrogated for hours. Why did you do it? Why did you do it? And they didn't do it, but they keep telling them they didn't do it. And all they do is they get interrogated longer. You sit in a room for an entire 24 hours, sitting there being questioned about something that you didn't do, but hey, did you do it? Did you do it? Why did you do it? You know, nonstop. They just give in because they want to go to sleep and they just want to be done with it. You know what I mean? It's a very crooked system. Does not work at all. Does not help. The victims of the crime are not always the reason why. Like let's say there's a rape that happens. All right, the poor lady or whatever that got raped. I don't think she should have got raped. But when they go grab a guy just because he's walking down the street and he's black, or because he's Mexican, or because he looks like a druggie, so they grab him. But the guy that's walking down the street that's in a suit, they don't even look at him. Prejudicism. They don't look for the real perps. You know what I mean? They don't look for the people that really did the crime. They look for whoever could have done it, or whoever might have done it, or looks like you could have done it. I mean, they're very, very judgmental, and it's not a fair system. It's not at all. I think everybody that doesn't have money is of the minority. You know what I mean? Like it's not about race so much as it is about money. If I got lots of money, then they won't even look at me. They'll just don't worry about him. And watch him keep on committing crimes and keep on doing bad things, and nobody will even notice until it becomes so bad that it has to be dealt with. But I mean, usually people that commit vicious crimes, they usually get away with them over and over and over again because the police never look at their way. They never look at them. They just let them keep going. And then once they do something that's so horrific that the police can't look the other way, then and only then do they actually get these fuckers off the street. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That's a shame. That's a bad thing. That's not the way this world needs to be being ran.